out there campaigning.
Yeah, there's I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's an election on Tuesday, November 2nd.
Oh yeah, we've been covering it.
Oh, we're aware.
Yeah.
Very aware.
It's good.
Yeah. It'll be interesting, a lot of, interesting races, get out there, work hard, and get good results.
When is the last time you saw an election here where the alderman at large, I mean, it's always a big part of it, but where it seems to be the race that everyone's,
It's a nail biter.
yeah.
Well, you have some very good candidates, on there, and they're working hard. I mean, I know the three that Danny Boone's, I know he's working really, really hard. June Christiani's working hard, and Danny O'Neill is working. So, I'm hoping, Danny O'Neill's been a friend of mine for a very, very long time, since we were teenagers. We hung around together, and people just don't realize how much work he's done for the city of Manchester, not politically, not just politically, but on the outside. Well, his volunteer work is outstanding. I actually started my coaching career in baseball with Dan O'Neill at Pony League in Manchester.
Really? So going
Yeah,
way
we were
back.
not like 19 years old.
Wow, so that's going way back.
Yeah.
Wow. Because you grew up over on the east side, though. When you grew up over by like where Lincoln Fruit was, Merrimack
Yes.
Street, was it that area?
Yeah, I initially grew up down in South at Elmwood Project, and then when I was about 10 or 11, we moved to Merrimack Street between Lincoln and Maple, and that was back when Lincoln School was still above ground, and they had it was probably the best place to hang around. I mean, we just had so much fun. There was so much to do there. Basketball courts, just a lot of stuff.
Love those old neighborhood days.
Oh,
we
absolutely.
all had those. You know, where you knew.
The kids were always out. I mean,
Right.
we were always out there. I mean, you had a hard time keeping us in the house.
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't wait to get out of there. You know, you'd have to go home for dinner and then go home when, I guess the street lights came on or, those kind of things. But
So staying in the house was a punishment,
right. Yeah, because now over there it's Enright Park.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, it's changed. It's changed. Manchester's changed. But
Now, Ideal Supermarket used to be up there too. Do you remember it was on Manchester Street and Wilson, was it? Or Lincoln? No, Lincoln.
Lincoln, yeah. It was, Manchester and Lincoln. Lincoln Fruit was on Merrimack and Lincoln, and that was the former Alderman Bill Kelly owned that store, and that's when I first learned about the politics of Manchester, because my mother would call Bill Kelly if she ever needed anything.
Right.
And Bill Kelly, he was outstanding. And being the most important thing about being an alderman is constituent service. And I learned that from an early age, because my mother would need help with whatever, and she would give a call to Bill, and he would take care of it. And Bill Cashin, Mayor Stanton back then, Pete Burke, which was an alderman, they would always meet at Lincoln Fruit, and I'm sure a lot of the big decisions were made there.
That's great, because I always remember, and when you say Mayor Stanton, I was 5 years old, and I was at Dunkin' Donuts, where it used to be on the corner of Hanover Street and Elm Street, and it was Dunkin' Donuts, where you could spit in the seats and all that stuff. And I remember my mom saying, "That's the mayor, that's Mayor Stanton." And I was 5 years old, so it was 1975.
Wow.
But, when you're a kid, it's like, wow, and it's just good. I love those memories. So let me ask you this, though, as far as the campaign goes. I've been asking all the candidates this that have popped in. What do you think is our single most biggest issue here in the city?
Well, I'm gonna say the homeless. That's what I'm hearing, and we're working on it. And I tell people that a few years back when Joyce first took office, we were in a bind. I mean, because there was a federal law out there saying that you cannot remove anyone from anywhere, whether it be on the streets of Elm or anywhere, parks and things like that, unless you had shelter beds available. So we've worked so hard in the last few years to make sure that we have enough shelter beds, and we do, and now we do. So we're at that point. So the hiring of Shauna Green was huge. She's done, she's been doing a fabulous job, working with our police, our fire departments. They're always, she's always in contact with me, because I've been sending her things from constituents of mine about, encampments and, you know, in Ward 10. There's not many, there's only been a few, but they've taken it. You know, sometimes unfortunately, you know, we hit a snag because, I'll give you an example by the dog park, on Second Street. There's people that are staying there, and I got complaints from the people that, you know, that go over to the dog park and visit there.
Yeah.
But it's on private property, so what they have to do then is reach out to the property owner to try to, you know, to get them to issue a no trespassing order, and then we'll enforce it as a city. So it's getting there. You know, it's a lot of work, it's not easy, and I know, unfortunately, when you get them to leave one area, they go to another area. You would hope, because we have everything available in Manchester. We've got mental health, Manchester Mental Health, we've got all the treatment centers, we've got shelter space. We have it all here, but unfortunately, they either don't wanna take advantage of that, maybe they're suffering from mental illness, and I get it, and I feel bad for them. But there's other ones that just don't wanna follow the rules. You know, when you go to the shelter, when you go to Horizons, they have rules that they have there, and
Structure.
yeah, follow the rules. You know, you can't go in there and you can't, you know, start a fight with someone. You can't go in there and steal. You can't go in there and do drugs. And if you do, unfortunately, you know, they put you back on the street, because there are people that go in there because, you know, they're legit and they need somewhere to stay.
Very good, very good. So, all right, you brought someone with you here. Would you like to,
I'd like to introduce Gary. Gary's been a friend of mine when I first started running for Alderman. Gary and his wife Heidi and John Hawkwood came to my rescue because I was getting beaten up pretty bad in my first campaign. And Gary's been a friend of mine since, and also obviously Heidi. So Gary's running for school board, and I'll tell you, he's such a good guy and a hard worker. He would do outstanding on the Manchester School Board. And we're running as a team. This is my first time ever, because I think it's important for the alderman and the school board member in that ward to work together on school issues.
absolutely. That's the way it should be.
And I did. When I first got elected, I worked hand in hand. Parker Vondi's the only school actually in Ward 10, and I did a lot of work with the school, and Amy Allen was the principal back then. So we worked well together, and we got a lot of things done. So I'm looking forward to Gary getting elected, obviously myself. I'm hoping that I get elected again. And
Who's the incumbent right now over there? Just out of curiosity.
the incumbent's not running, so
Oh,
that's, yeah,
okay.
so it's
Who
an
was it?
open seat. It was Jane Bolio.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Yeah, it was
yes.
Jane Bolio, and so Gary's, we're hoping that Gary takes over, and we can work together, and, you know, we've got a lot of, you know, big issues in our schools that we need to take care of, and hopefully, you know, we can get some things done.
Yeah, I've seen you guys knocking on doors through your neighborhood, just driving through Main Street and back of Second Street there and all that.
My good
so.
friends at Infinity Car Wash and Dairy Queen have my sign up on their marquee, and it looks cool, and, you know, when it rains all day, Infinity keeps it up there all day, so, let's keep it raining.
Right,
No, I'm only kidding.
But that's a big part of Ward 10 and Second Street.
Absolutely.
Because that's your business, I mean, that's
It is.
that's a big business district.
And they've been good. I mean, you know, businesses have reached out to me, Infinity, Dairy Queen. I've known Dave Dion, who's the primary owner of Dairy Queen, but his son Kevin manages everything.
Okay.
And they've been friends of mine for quite some time, and so they help me out.
Yeah, we had them in here one time, because there was an event